Good morning. I'm videoing you from home because I'm sick with like the allergies today. Whoa, they just went when the weather warmed up, and I'm just like looking through a fog. So here's my advice, and also here's your therapy dog moment. That sucks to help you feel better. So when you're looking at sentencing, juvenile sentencing, you got a specific population. And you've got sentencing. Sentencing rules and laws are changing all the time because sentencing, or like the punishment, as it were, over history and over time, it's kind of a social construction. So it's like the values of the culture that's influenced by religion or war or like all these big factors. So it's always evolving. So knowing that, whenever we talk about it, we talk about juvenile sentencing reform. But if you go back like, oh, not too far into the distant past, 100 years, 110 years, there was no such thing as a juvenile. Everyone went to jail or was punished in the same way. So we've come a long way, but still, there's like this path that you could follow. So I would suggest go out to the open web, and there are people and non-government and activist groups and think tanks that are interested in amplifying what needs to change. So there's AI. I think that's okay. But if you can find, there's like the sentencing project. Let's see, MST services. So reform is the big word. So what you could do, oh, cool, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. So there is government sources. What you would do is go and look and see which ones resonate with you, because the articles are going to be very, very specific. So let me go back up to the AI, and let's say I'll look at community-based solutions, or like diversion programs. Okay, so I would go to advanced catalog. There's a couple places I'm going to show you. This one's okay to start with. And it's really slow because my internet at home is slow, sorry. You can skip 15 seconds ahead. Okay, so in the criminal justice system, a very, very tightly described key term for young people is juvenile. So we don't have to worry about that keyword. Juvenile. And what we could do is add sentencing. And so you see the and right here. So what this means is we're going to look up everything that has juvenile in it, and then out of that pile, everything's going to have sentencing. There's one way of going about it. But I'm guessing they're going to be stuck together. So first of all, we're just dipping our toes into one part of the topic. Oh, then there's like juvenile justice. So we're thinking about sentencing in particular, but sentencing is part of that. That's interesting. Juvenile sentenced, juvenile crime, juvenile sentencing. Another way, here's how we get back to our search. So if that's too big, or we have a big enough body of literature that we can narrow down, and it looks like there's only 3 results. I must have clicked on something. I'm going to bring this up together. Oh, computer, you are so slow. And I want those 2 words to stick together in the key term search. I hope I get more than 3. 457. That's actually pretty good. Oh, whoa, there's like a guidelines manual. Somebody saved this from 1997. So there's guidelines, Utah specific. Yeah, I didn't think about like regional versus federal. So last thing we want to add is we want to change. And the cool thing about reform is they're going to talk about the way it is and the way that it should be. So there might be the voices that you're looking for. Reform. This might be the kiss of death for our search, though. I might be asking too much from this database. Oh, 55. Hey, cool. What you can do is way over on this side, once this populates, is you can narrow down to a specific set of years, like the last 5 years. You can narrow down to peer-reviewed journals. But let me show you a different database. Let's do this same search in a different database. I'm going to copy this. So if I go to the library databases, we have criminology databases that are not indexed in the catalog. So if you go to databases and you go to the subject criminology, there's 3 of them in there. There's a lot of overlap between them. You could also go to a law database, but there's overlap with the criminology stuff. So there's criminal justice, criminology collection, and criminal justice. This one is my fave, criminology collection. Oh, I have to do my off-campus authentication thing. Oh my gosh, this is so much slower than my work computer. And I thought my work computer was slow. It must be my internet is just gonna like, please. I wish I knew how to edit videos so I could get rid of this section. Okay. In advanced search again. Are you loading criminology collection? In the advanced search, let's do that same search. But in this one, there's a lot more articles on your topic. I apologize for how achingly slow this is. If you haven't turned it up to 2 times speed, maybe that's a good idea. I'll be talking like a chipmunk. No, thank you. Okay, so I'm putting in juvenile sentencing. Ooh, look at all these other ones. And then reform. Do we have any? No, I don't want reforma. And then peer reviewed. And then let's look at since, the last 3 years. So post-pandemic. Are you okay with that? ProQuest? Okay, here I go. My computer's like, the fan is going, so something's happening. Oh, there's only 5. Maybe I'd have to expand out from those years. But this is how I would go about it. So, cool, sentencing patterns from Sao Paulo. It's okay to look at examples from other countries, especially with this deep data set of a longitudinal study that runs like 16 years. That's amazing. Rural versus urban. Let's go back. Let's modify the search. And let's say it's the last 10 years and see if we can get it any better. I'll just do all dates. This is how I would go about it. I know there's a lot more being talked about in the public sector, like the web pages we looked at before. So you could look at juvenile sentencing and reform, or you could look at juvenile sentencing and one of the terms was community-based, or another one was juvenile sentencing and this is the last one I'll type. Pre-trial diversion. My poor computer. Oh no! So if you find that there's not something in there, I might have misspelled something. So you get the idea. Let me show you quickly. If you find something that looks really good, in the databases, they all have citation generators right here. So this will pop up like the APA, the MLA, or whatever style you're interested in. But your job, so there's the APA. There's like, no, I don't want to try out this added feature. Okay, so while this is churning, imagine the abstract of an article. The abstract is going to have the background and the history, and it's going to have like their data set and the population that they're looking at, and then they're going to have outcomes. If you find an article that looks good, look at their background and history. It makes up the first 2 pages typically of a scholarly article, and this will give you more articles and more ideas to run from. But if you need help, let me know, and hopefully I'll be back at work. But each article will be ultra specific, and you might make a point with one, like this particular sentencing has a high rate of people going back to jail, like recidivism, or this has like a high amount of people going into like abusive situations or homelessness. But this one, in our current era, the pretrial diversion or the detention instead of adult jail has positive outcomes of like bringing families together or something like that. So as you find stuff like that, grab the little bits and pieces, and it'll support the evidence that you already have built with your narrative. Okay, let me know how it goes. And sorry, my computer broke down.